It's election time in the Czech Republic. The eyes of the world will be on the Czech Republic at the start of October for an election that could shape Central Europe for years to come. Will the Czechs follow a path to the West and the European Union, or lean further east, mirroring the recent trends of their neighbours Slovakia and Hungary? In this video, I'll go through the voting system of the Czech Republic and what political parties need to form a government in this country. We'll go through the main political parties and have a look at the most likely government that's going to be ruling this country for the next 4 years. The Czech Republic is, as the name suggests, a republic. The government is led by the Prime Minister, who selects all the other ministers in cabinet. The current government, when it was elected, was made up of a 5-party coalition. Spolu, a voting alliance of 3 parties, ODS, Top 09 and the Christian Democrats, and another voting alliance of the Stan Party and the Pirates. Later on, they became a 4-party coalition because the Pirates jumped ship. A political party must receive a minimum of 5% of the overall vote to sit in Parliament, and the number of seats is allocated according to the overall share of the vote that the party got. ODS stands for Občanská demokratická strana, the Civic Democratic Party, and they are the only political party in the Czech Republic to be ever present in the Chamber of Deputies since the revolution in 1989. Petr Fiala became the leader of ODS in 2014, promising to clean up the party after a major corruption scandal in 2013 involving the Prime Minister at the time, Petr Nečas, Mr. No Time. But unfortunately for Mr. Fiala, they had a little tiny bit of a scandal this year when the ODS Minister for Justice accepted a large Bitcoin donation from a convicted dark web drug trafficker. The scandal broke in May of this year. Yes, this government and ODS are under pressure. In 2023, this current government decided it would be an inspired idea to go shopping. To go shopping in Germany and Czech Republic for exactly the same groceries. They should work out well. And the Prime Minister made the amazing and depressing discovery that everybody already knew. Shopping in Germany is cheaper than shopping in the Czech Republic. And also, their salaries are 2 to 3 times higher. But it wasn't the government's fault, of course. The prices of food wasn't the Prime Minister's fault. He had no power to change anything. Of course. Government has no power over the price of food in shops, you see. So why do this then? I've seen some politicians in my lifetime do some pretty dumb things, but this really takes the cake. You might consider doing a stunt like this if you were the opposition to show up the government. The prices are so high, and when you become Prime Minister, you'll take the prices down. This was the government of the Czech Republic at the time, advising Czech people who lived near the border to go shopping in another country. Dumb. KDU-CSL, Křesťanská a demokratická unie Československá strana lidová. Christian and Democratic Union, Czech and Slovak People's Party. Their name is often shortened because, well, people have lives and things to do. Thankfully, we just call them lidovci, kind of translated as the populars. This party has taken part in almost all Czech governments since 1990, and in this election, they'll again be part of the Spolu electoral alliance. Their leader is a man called Mr. Výborný, which translates as Mr. Great. They won 10 seats in the last election, and that could be a very useful number. It could really help a coalition get over the line. As they're usually part of government, unlike a lot of Christians, they seem to be pretty flexible about who their partners are. Top 09, Top 09. Top stands for Tradice, Odpovědnost and Prosperita. Tradition, responsibility and prosperity. Top 09 are a centre-right party, and they were formed, as the name suggests, in 2009 by Miroslav Kalousek. He came over from the Christian Democrats Party. The party's first leader was the charismatic Karl Schwarzenberg, and they did quite well in their first parliamentary election, winning 41 seats. Their performance has dropped over the next few elections, but they made a recovery recently under their new leader, Markéta Adamová, winning 14 seats in the 2021 election and forming part of the current coalition government. Apart from a large sex scandal a few years ago, they're pretty boring. ANO. Yes in Czech. These guys are the Yes Party. They were founded in 2011, and their leader is a man called Andrej Babiš. These guys are the big party of Czech politics at the moment, and they've got a habit of winning. In their first parliamentary election in 2013, they came second and formed a government with ČSSD, the Czech Social Democratic Party. In the next election in 2017, they became the big winners and formed another coalition government with ČSSD. This time, it was a minority government, so they needed the support of the Communist Party. This was the first time the Communists had formed any part of a government in the Czech Republic since the Velvet Revolution. I know we're a centre-right party, and the main criticism they receive these days is that they're populist, very populist, that they promise everything to everybody all the time. Basically, they say yes to anything. Their leader, Andrej Babiš, is a very successful businessman. He was born in Slovakia and became the first non-native Czech speaker to become Prime Minister of the country. Babiš became managing director of the holding company Agrofert in 1993 and developed it into one of the biggest companies in the Czech Republic, with an annual revenue of more than 117 billion crowns.
I didn't know it was that much. Wow!
Andrej Babiš, like any other highly successful businessman, is ambitious. And recently in life, he had an ambitious dream. He wanted to build the biggest nest the world had ever seen. And he did it. He called it Stork's Nest, Čapí hnízdo in Czech, and it made a lot of people very nervous. They thought, if that's the size of the nest, I don't want to meet the bird. Also, people accused him of using European Union funds to build the nest. SPD, Svoboda a Prima Demokracia, Freedom and Direct Democracy. The leader, Tomio Okamura. These guys have been around since 2015. Before that, Tomio Okamura was the leader of a party called Dawn of Direct Democracy. I guess he likes direct democracy. Now take a look at Tomio's face. If you thought he doesn't look 100% Czech, you'd be right. This man was born and lived the first few years of his life in Japan. But if you don't think this man is 100% Czech, well, you're 100% wrong. This man is so Czech. This man loves this country. He is so Czech, he wakes every morning and has a hoska and fried cheese sandwich. He wants the Czech Republic for Czech people. He does not like immigrants very much, especially Muslims. A few years ago, he was really dead set on stopping Muslims, stopping Islam. And I think maybe he did it because these days, I don't see many Muslims in the Czech Republic. Also, Tomio's completely stopped talking about it. Now it seems that Tomio and SPD want to stop Ukrainians. Tomio says that if his party is elected and gets into government, he will review every Ukrainian residency permit himself. It's a lot of work, Tomio. Best of luck. So SPD and Tomio Okamura seem maybe not to love immigrants so much. Here's a picture of the SPD leader welcoming newly arrived immigrants at Prague airport. But they really do love tourists. So I think it's all right to visit the Czech Republic, but you better remember to leave, buddy. Tomio loves travel so much, he doesn't think it should be restricted to only humans and sometimes small dogs. It should be opened up to cuddly toys. Back in 2010, for the low price of €90, you could send your precious teddy bear on a week's holiday to Prague. Breakfast included. That €90 also included a photo album of your precious cuddly toy at all the major sites in Prague. Now, on my YouTube channel, I talk about Czech culture, everything that's going on in this country, and I make a lot of jokes. I like making jokes. But the last thing I said about the cuddly toys and Tomio Okamura, that was not a joke. That was a real business idea back in 2010. This guy's a politician now. He could be a major part of the next Czech government. This October, in voting stations across the Czech Republic, one brave woman has come to the end of the line. Her name is Mrs. Final, and she's had enough. She's got a message for the European Union, NATO, Ukraine, and democracy. And that message is Konečná zastávka. Prosíme, vystupte. Stačilo was announced as an electoral alliance in December 2023 by the then leader of the Czech Communist Party, Katarzyna Konečná. It was transformed into a political party in October 2024. It's just a big coincidence that the Communist Party in the last election dropped below the minimum 5% needed to be in Parliament. Stačilo is in no way a rebranding of the Czech Communist Party. No way, no how. If you think that, you're an idiot. The Pirate Party, the Czech Pirate Party, they are not like regular pirates. That would be extremely stupid in a landlocked country like the Czech Republic. You wouldn't even get the pirate vote. These guys are digital pirates. They want internet freedom. But unlike some other European pirate parties, they have a broad political program. After a slow start, they burst into life in the 2017 election, winning 22 seats. Their leader at the time was a man called Ivan Bartosz. They became the third biggest party in the country, behind ODS and ANO. In the last election, they decided to form a political alliance with the Stan Party, mayors and independents. Due to the preferential party system in the Czech Republic, where voters can only choose one party to vote for, in this political alliance, people overwhelmingly chose the Stan Party over the Pirates. The Pirates dropped from 22 seats in 2017 to 4 seats in 2021. Can you blame the preferential voting system? Or are the Pirates sinking? They took their place in the present government, but left the coalition when Ivan Bartosz, pictured here telling nobody where his pirate treasure is, was fired for delays in the digitalization of procedures related to construction projects. So now the Pirates have a new leader, Zdeněk Hřib. Bloody hard to say. It translates into English as Mr. Mushroom, and I've heard he is a fun guy. Is he fun enough to join another coalition with ODS after they fired their last leader? Not sure. Whatever happens, Pirates, their performance in the next election will be fascinating to watch. Motorists sobie, Motorists for Ourselves, were founded in 2022, and according to the latest research, they could gain the 5% of the vote necessary to take their place in the Chamber of Deputies. What can I say about these guys? They say they love cars, coal and the crown currency. They say they oppose the Green Deal, the European Union and the adoption of the euro. When I say they love cars, they only love certain types of cars. The cars they love must have a diesel or petrol engine. Electric cars, they're right out. They don't like those guys at all. I'm not sure about liquid petroleum gas cars. I imagine they're okay. Recently in Prague's city elections, the motorists promised to make the metro free, significantly reduce the number of bicycle lanes, take money from culture and put it into infrastructure instead. What about if it's a cultural event about cars? The leader, Filip Turek, has been accused of having Nazi sympathies after it appeared that he gave a Nazi salute from a car. He denies the accusation. He does collect SS memorabilia, but that's probably just a coincidence. The Stan Party, Starostové a Nezávislí, the mayors and independents, started off in the early 2000s and they grew out of other independent parties. They were only initially interested in competing in local elections, but later they grew into a nationwide party. In 2017, on their own, they won 6 seats, and in the 2021 election, as part of that political alliance with the Pirates, they jumped up to a whopping 33 seats. Stans sell themselves as a liberally minded political party, but can counter the biggest criticism thrown at liberal parties in that they don't have any time or care for the local common people. But Stan can claim that they really do represent the local people. You can't get much more local than the local mayors. The leader of the Stan Party has been Vít Rakušan since 2019. A few years ago, the former Prime Minister Andrej Babiš wrote a letter to the current Prime Minister Peter Fiala that he should fire Vít Rakušan because of his connection to the dosimeter scandal. Basically, a group of people were stealing money or accused of stealing money from the Prague public transport company. Of course, this would have been very beneficial to Babiš. Had Rakušan been fired, the Stan Party would have followed him and brought down the government. I mention this now because does this completely rule out the possibility of the ANO Party and the Stan Party joining together for a coalition government after this election? So it's time for some predictions. Let's take a look at one of the latest opinion polls for the upcoming election. And the main opinion I have from this research is that it's going to be quite difficult to form a new government in this country. Almost all the research and opinion polls agree that ANO will be the big winners. In Parliament there are 200 seats on offer, so you need 101 for a majority. So it's easy to extrapolate that from these numbers in front of us, a government needs to get at least 50%. It's not going to be easy. Who are ANO's likely partners? A few days ago, the leader of the Stan party, Vik Rakushan, said quite categorically that he would never form a coalition with ANO. ANO needs 50%, so if they got SPD, the Motorists and Stačilo all together, they would definitely get there. But surely the Motorists and SPD are far too right-wing to work with Stačilo. But the numbers may work even without Stačilo. The current government parties, Spolu and Stan, fall some way short of the required 50%, and even if the Pirates joined with them, they still need a lot more. I think my safest prediction is that look forward to a few weeks of negotiations after the elections finish. I do think that Andrej Babiš will be the next Prime Minister of the Czech Republic, but what kind of coalition partners he has, that remains to be seen. If you have found this video useful in some way, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell icon for notifications and check out these other similar videos.